healthy vegan author. I'm in the throes of writing a new book, and my research has taken me into the world of religion and just where it stands in regard to animal welfare. So if you're interested, keep watching. Now, as I'm recording this, there is a beautiful young girl, Genesis Butler, who is currently, well, she's probably just left, but she was going to Rome, hoping to speak with Pope Francis. Her mission is such a fabulous idea. She took to social media a few months ago and began a petition to ask Pope Francis to go vegan for Lent. So for those of you who are unsure about Lent, this is a period of a few weeks before Easter when Catholics give up something in order to make a sacrifice. So she was asking that the Pope give up eating any form of animal food, not only on behalf of the animals, but more importantly for the environment, of which he is so incredibly passionate about. I will leave you a link below to the website where you can read more about Genesis and sign a petition that she's got going. So as I said in the beginning, this new book of mine, Why Be Vegan, which is still in draft form and hopefully will be out a bit later in the year, has been full of researching different topics, making sure that, you know, everything is current that I'm doing. And it was hearing about Genesis that made me start to research the religious angle regarding the eating of meat. So what did I come up with? Well, I'm not going to tell you the whole lot because it's too long, but in a brief summary, there are some religions who have the fundamental belief that one should not eat meat. So I'm quite sure you are of the understanding that Buddhists are vegetarians, but in reality, not all followers in this or other religions actually adhere to the principle. Jainism is the only religion that I could find where vegetarianism is mandatory, but Buddhists and Hindus, which are the most likely to advocate this type of eating, leave it up to the individual. Now, of course, many people in the religions that believe in reincarnation, such as Hinduism, tend to refrain from eating meat as they believe they may come back as an animal, or they think that they may be eating someone that they once knew. Now, going into the early scriptures of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the plant-based diet is the one that was instructed by God to Adam and Eve. So in Genesis 1:29 to 30, I'll read this to you. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. So that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? He also said things like letting the lion lie down with the lamb and the creatures lie with the children, etc., etc. Really giving the idea that God wanted to have everything in harmony. So these early teachings favoured veganism as a way of life. Judaism, as with others, advocates treating the environment with respect. Sadly, animal agriculture does the complete opposite by squandering water, energy, land, polluting, and squandering other resources. Most of these religions hold that human life is sacred and that we should care for our health. So this makes you wonder why, since animal-based foods have been proven to increase the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers, that the religious leaders are not teaching their followers to move towards a plant-based diet. Now, God does at one point, after the Great Flood, give Noah the go-ahead to use the animals for work or for food. However, I kind of wonder at the logic of this. due to the fact that Noah only took 2 of each animals on board the ark. And how did he feed them? Did he feed them on the ark? How did he feed himself and his family? So therefore, which animals did Noah decide to make extinct? But hey, who am I to argue with the scriptures? Now, in areas like Mongolia and Alaska, I can totally understand that God's animals can be used for food, as it's pretty obvious because there are very few or no plants able to be grown there. But where does that leave the rest of us? In this bountiful age, when we can get whatever type of edible plant we want, there is absolutely no reason to use animals for food. What I found was that the central core to all these religions is love, compassion, and mercy. Can you see Jesus looking at the current factory farms and slaughterhouses that we have, and then sitting down to happily consume flesh? I think not. And now it's time for the wee bonus fact. Within the teachings of Christianity and other religions, it is ideal that one should administer to the poor and the hungry. However, with the increase of meat consumption, Christians are finding it hard to come to terms with the fact that meat eating is an inefficient way to farm. This is due to a large proportion of the grains being fed to the animals. In the United States, 66% of grains is fed to animals. This is a real waste of calories and proteins, not to mention the land that could be used to grow a wide variety of plants. The rich minority of the world is devouring the meat, taking an unfair advantage. Even within the developed countries, poverty and hunger is rife. Fast foods are cheap, but they don't give any sustenance, and so hunger is ever present. Those who do try to administer to the hungry through their religions are finding it more and more difficult, as the number of their own members are going hungry, and that number continues to grow. It's time the religious leaders of the world stepped up to the plate and showed their followers the bounty of God's plant foods. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, smashing that notification bell to get the latest video. Remember, have great food, make it whole plant-based, and be compassionate to all animals, including those religious humans who still insist on eating God's creatures. Bye for now.